Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thanksgiving so far. And I hope everybody's thankful for hockey and the OMA Jr Mavericks. So we can bring it to you live here from Westminster, Colorado, here at the Arvada Ice Rink on the north end of Denver. The boys, the team all made the truck up here yesterday, and we're in a really nice facility here in the north end of town. That's
the struggle with the stream.
We're weak signal here in the ring.
We're at the mercy of the signal right now. I'm getting. Are you on the Wi-Fi? All right. Well, I'm only getting one bar, so hopefully the Wi-Fi is at least a little bit stronger than that and give us a consistent signal. So I'm sorry, you were talking about the rules before things went down.
Well, yeah, this is each tournament has their own set of rules. And from tournament to tournament, the rules vary. And by rules, they mean length of game, penalties, and even how they rank the statistics, whether it's
a little dicey today, it looks like.
Played to date has been 12 minutes stop clock. 12 minutes stop clock. So
I wonder if we can.
I get 2 bars.
I'm at 3 or 4 bars on the Wi-Fi. Right now I have 1 bar.
We got 1. Hustles back to get the loose puck in his own zone. Feeds it gently up to Jack Davis. Jack, centering feed turned over. Arvada dumps it back in the chase. And it's Will Fleming getting there first in his own corner. Arvada with the turnover behind the net. Trying to get it to the middle. Puck goes trickling towards the back of the corner again. Patera, board pass to work it up around. Jack takes over as it pops off the board. Tangled in some feet, gets through traffic. Jack Davis at the halfway point, 2-on-2. Jack gains territory, quickly pushed to the wall. In the corner now, battling 2 Arvada players. Puck comes out to the middle, fire, Stonebreaker, can't quite get through traffic. Loose puck goes to the short wall. Nandor can't quite keep it in. Fed cross ice. Ike comes off the bench on a chain, gets the puck into the zone. Arvada quickly dumps it back out, coming through the neutral zone. Nice stall out there in the neutral zone, a little back and forth. Arvada tries to gain territory, they do. Top of the circle, shot gets deflected off some feet, comes back out to neutral zone. Arvada picks it up at the red line, recollects at the blue, dump and chase. The boss picks it up behind his own net. He's got an attacker, stirs it up, trying to poke check, they do. Arvada winning the corner battle, feeds it back out to the dot. Nice job by Sturba. Arvada from the blue line feeds it towards the crease. A shot, and that one finds its way in. That one just barely works its way past the beast. And if I'm not mistaken, and that one got past the OMA Jr Mavs. So Taz, Heater, hollers out there on offense. Taz works his way into the zone. Arvada fires it out quickly. Keeney and the Bear on defense. Keeney bounces it out of the zone off the boards. Arvada gains territory. Fire from the blue line. Rebound comes back out at the top of the circle. Arvada circling deep into the zone. Corner battle. Bear. That one rings around to the opposite corner. Now back out to the blue line. Arvada, board pass, keeps it in. Cranks one through the center. The Bear rings it around the boards, tries to find Heater. Heater can't quite get there. Arvada fires it back in. A bouncing puck, and that one got deflected into the net again. I think Bear got a little piece of that and jumbled it up so that the Beast couldn't see it. 2-0. Arvada just extended their lead.
That's a situation where no good deed goes unpunished. Bear was trying to help out his goaltender in that one, and just a change of direction just was problematic for Beast.
Court right at center ice, can't quite get through traffic. Arvada takes over at the red line. Gains territory, pop fly over to the short wall. Stonebreaker, that one whizzed through the crease over to the other opposing wall. Fleming trying to backhand it out of the zone. Turnover, Arvada fire from the top of the circle, rebound, and that one couldn't quite get on goal. Arvada trying to pick it up behind the net. Too many Mavs. This one comes out of the zone, loose and wild all the way down. They're going to wave off the icing. A puck race, T-squared on the forecheck. Gets the puck stolen from him. Arvada now cranking it out of their zone once again. Centering pass past one stick. He's going to ice that one, and that one's going to freeze the play. Now with 10:41 left in the first period. 4 shots on goal by Arvada, none by your Omaha Jr Mavericks in the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
Matt, we kind of talked about it at the beginning when the stream was a little bit funky for us. This Arvada team's already played 2 games, and it looks that way. They are much crisper in their execution so far. The Junior Mavericks try to kind of get in sync.
Patera, Tremaine, Jack Davis out there on offense. Puck goes to the corner, tied up for a moment, then worked its way out to the slot. Arvada works their way out of their zone. Stalls out slightly at the neutral zone, turned over by the Mavs. A gentle board dump back into Arvada territory. Arvada picks it up and circles behind their own net. Long pop fly pass, picked up a 2-on-1 by Arvada. Top of the circle, fires, big trapper saved by the Beast. Shuts the door on Arvada. Now the Beast dialing in here. 10 minutes and 8 seconds left in the first period. 2-0. Mavs down after some bobbled shots and some slow-moving feet to get this game started. Still 5-0 to shots on goal. Arvada really putting the pressure on right out of the gate. Face-off win back to Arvada. Bouncing puck right at the Beast. He'll get control of it and freeze that one right away.
Now we were talking about the rules, 14 minutes stop time periods unless things get out of hand score-wise. So this will be a longer game for the guys.
Will Allers out there on the face-off draw with Sturba, and looks like Paxton Schneider offsides as the puck was trying to work its way out of the zone and too many feet and bodies in the way. So we'll get a neutral zone face-off now. 9:52 left in the first period. We got Keeney and the Bear on defense. Face-off drop. Allers with a push ahead to Paxton. Paxton loses control at center ice. Allers is going to try and regain control. Stick broken. Or is that? Nope, that's a net guard that's out there on the ice. Puck comes up to the blue line. Nice job by Allers to battle and move it into the neutral zone. Allers gets it tied up in his feet. Arvada pokes it back in deep. Keeney pinches in the corner. Taking his man off the puck, backhanded it back out to the blue line. Puck goes loose into Arvada territory. Arvada's going to pick it up at the top of their own circle. Arvada cross-ice pass. Now a centering pop fly pass. They gain territory. Nice, clean, open ice hit by Keeney. Stands his man up and creates a turnover. Here comes Bear. Gaining speed through the neutral zone. Lots of bodies in the way. Offsides as he got stalled out there right at the blue line. That'll give us another neutral zone face-off. Hopefully a player gets their net guard back there, that their net guard fell off. Not sure who that was. 8:58 left in the first period. 2-0. Arvada in the lead. Taz. Stonebreaker, Heater out there. Stonebreaker gets his own face-off win. Taz will get to it from the shot. Off the post, rebound just goes wide. Heater now behind. Flicks one into the front. Fleming picks it up in the blue line, fires a big goalie save, and Heater's there to protect and get the rebound, but the goalie wasn't going to give that one up. Nice attack. 8:41 left in the first period.
Oh,
Two big scoring chances.
Taz bidding for his first goal of the year, and that would have been a big one there. And fortunately, the rebound chance for Stoney was kind of up on edge, and he didn't get a good whack at it, and that's why it sailed wide.
Fleming kicks that one to the boards as it came out to the neutral zone. Heater goes on the attack for the forecheck.
That's it, Vinny.
Bodies his man off the puck. Arvada still gets it and rings it up the board. Stonebreaker stalls it out gently, and that one's going to go offside.
Hey, we'll take that. That's a good offside for the Junior Mavericks to take because Arvada had the numbers coming back up ice.
Face-off win by Arvada. Boss tangles it up for a moment, but Arvada gains territory, tries to feed the middle, top of the circle, bats one towards, and it gets kicked to the boards. Nice job by Ike to intercept the pass. Board pass up to T-Square, gets it out of the zone, forces Arvada to reset in their own territory. Cross ice, tipped, gets back to the boss in his own territory. Ike tries to board pass out to the middle, hits Courtright. Courtright all alone. He's got an attacker. Courtright, can he get the shot off? He does it, scores! Courtright bobbled the backhand, got a man right on his heels. I I think it was T-Squared that was able to hit it and pass it up to him as Courtright just was able to out-nudge his attacker and put again, or that's going to be a neutral zone face-off
hand
here.
pass would have come all the way back into their zone, so I'm not sure it might have been offside or. I'm
that was.
managing the stream here, so it's hard sometimes to watch what's going on the ice.
Here we go. Taz, Tremaine, and Heater out there on offense. Nandor gets the face-off win, charges the blue line, gets it in just barely on sides. Turned over, nice attack by Heater. Puck goes towards the middle. Heater can't quite get the shot off. Fleming catches it at the short wall, fires it well wide of the net. Nandor can't quite keep it in. Nandor, the gentle pass ahead to keep it on sides. He gets mean mugged at the blue line. Taz goes on the attack. Arvada fires it back out. Fleming stops it at the blue line. Tangled up in some feet for a moment. Regains territory. Bobbles back out to the top of the circle. Here comes Heater. He can't get a clean shot off. Arvada's going to pitchfork it back out to neutral zone. A dump and chase. Nandor, first one to it behind his own net. Working his way around the boards. Short wall, pinch at the blue line. Comes back to Fleming in his own territory. T-squared, bobbles it on the blue line, gets it out of the zone momentarily. Bodying his man at the blue line there as it just crept into the zone of the Omaha Mavericks, and I think that's going to be offside.
Yeah. Matt, this Arvada team does a good job of possessing the puck. They pass it real well. That's why the physical play has to really factor in for the Mavericks. They need to start putting the body on these guys a little bit more, force those pucks free, and try to make something of them.
Allers, nice face-off win. T-squared up to Allers. Allers got two men on him, and they bat the puck off of his tape. Arvada coming in, gets the zone, pinched by the boss, turned over by Allers, rings it around the boards to defense. Arvada from the blue line fires, big save by the Beast. No goal, puck, whistle, but they're not stopping the play. A high stick by Courtright. That's going to stop the play. I thought I heard a whistle there when Beast made the initial save.
Somebody's screaming.
So we'll get a...
Well, that's too bad that Jake played that with a high stick, too, because it was going to split the defense, but if he had been able to catch up to it, then that creates an odd man rush the other way.
5:24 left in the first period. 2-1, Arvada in the lead. Stonebreaker with a face-off win. Keeney tries to ring it off, gets a bad bounce off the boards, pops right out onto Arvada's tape, still in the corner. Keeney gets it back, rings it back up to Jack Davis. Jack bodies his man, and the puck comes loose out to neutral zone. Arvada regroups in their own territory. Long pass through the neutral zone, out of reach. The Bear picks it up behind his own net. Bear, board pass right into Arvada's tape. They circle back into Maverick territory. Stonebreaker tries to backfeed one and gets back on Arvada's tape. Arvada going to work behind Maverick's net. Stonebreaker with a high stick. That one's going to stop the play once again. 4-4-4 left in the first. Shots on goal, not sure how accurate they are. 7-2 in Arvada's favor. Probably reasonably accurate, I would say. Out comes Paxton Schneider, Wyatt Tremaine, and Braden Sturba on offense. Fleming and Nandor on defense. The faceoff win back to Arvada. The shot goes wide of the net. Arvada picks it up off the short wall, fed back to defense. Defense tries to feed it in deep off the short wall. They feed it back out to their point man, and good job by the wing to tie it up. That one's going to come, not sure what the play stoppage is for.
I think the puck hopped into the Mavericks bench.
Puck has left the playing surface. Wouldn't that be a neutral zone face-off then?
Depends on who tipped it out. If it went off one of our sticks, then it would stay in the offense, the defensive zone.
Face-off in Mavs territory. A neutral face-off win that Fleming hustles up to gather. Fleming's got some momentum. Gets it out of the zone, quickly turned over by Arvada. They dump it back in. The chaser is Wyatt. Tremaine rings it around the boards. Paxton Schneider going to work in his own corner. Back to Arvada, fires one wide of the net. Comes up around the short wall. Sturba challenges blue line. Arvada picks it up. Short feet across the crease, and that one goes wide of the net. Nandor trying to protect and ran into the goalie. knocked the net off its mooring, and that stops the play with 4:01 left in the first period now.
One thing we can't do, Matt, against this team is just give the puck up easily, especially in our own zone. And here in the first period, we've done that a little bit too much. Instead of making purposeful passes, we've just kind of flung it around the wall a few times and really need to do a better job
Like you
of
said,
possessing the puck.
when they possess the puck good, you got to prevent them from having the puck.
Right.
And just blind dumping it right back to them is not the good play. Arvada off the short wall. Gets forced to the corner by Wyatt Ike. Now a little help from Allers, using his hips nicely, keeping the puck in the corner, trying to create a turnover. Can he do it? Now up to the blue line, gets a little help from his wing, but Arvada dumps it back in. Ike loses an edge. Arvada picks it up in the corner. Now back up. Dumped out of the zone. That one's going to get brushed off. We got a puck race, and here comes Heater. He's going to be the first one to it. Gets whacked at. He's still in control. Goes to the middle. Can't quite get it to Taz. Taz picks it up on the short wall. Can't quite shake and bake. Gets a help from Keeney to keep it in. Puck goes cross ice to the Boss, but out of the zone. Boss leads it back to Keeney. Keeney backhand up to Taz. Taz cross ice to Heater. Heater can't quite gain territory before it's batted off of his tape.
It's a good neutral zone regroup, though.
Puck now recollected in Arvada territory. They try to center it. Intercepted by T-squared. T-squared. Is that Patera? T-squared trying to gain territory. He's going to end up dumping Chase. Courtwright's the chaser on the forecheck. Courtwright going to get on the attack behind the net. Arvada feeds it out. Tips it to center ice. Nice poke check by the Bear. Arvada still working their way through the neutral zone. Cross ice to get it out, and that's offsides. Arvada, nice defense to stall it out at the blue line and create an offsides.
Better pressure from the Junior Mavericks there, getting stick on puck, getting in the faces of these guys, and making them make a pass maybe a little bit faster than they want to. That's a good start. They're trying to get some of the control back in this game.
Out comes Jack Davis, Patera, and Wyatt Tremaine on offense. Patera, hand pass is what's called. We're going to reset.
Matt, one thing we should note, Jake's goal against Arvada is the first goal they've given up in this tournament. They won their first two games by shutouts.
Pop fly again off the face-off. Arvada gets it and comes into the zone. Vandor is going to go on to the attack. Arvada wins the puck race. Backhand, high slot, shot, kick saved by the Beast. Nice job by Patera to pop it off the boards and get it out of the zone.
That's it,
Jack Davis on the forecheck here. Arvada fires it hard off the boards back into neutral zone. Patera gets it poke checked off of his tape. Fleming gets it poke checked off of his tape. He'll has his back. Try and gets it up to Patera. Patera collects at his own blue. Gaining some speed through the neutral zone. Gets stalled out a little bit there before he can gain territory. Arvada coming back the other way. Fleming bodies his man off, slows it down, but the puck's still in Maverick territory. Now deep in the Maverick corner. Arvada goes cross ice. Jack Davis gets tripped up. No call.
Two trips.
Comes out to neutral zone. Arvada. Tremaine turns it over at the red line. One-on-one. Bodied right at the blue line. Puck still in his skates, and Arvada takes over. 2-on-2. Back into Mavericks territory. Chip over to the slot. Arvada, shot. Can't quite get on the net. Patera now battling in the corner. Arvada up to the high slot. Paxton Schneider picks it up. Paxton gets it out of the zone, working his way outnumbered by defense. Trying to get Paxton. Straker, Arvada's favor. So Mavs have gotten a little bit of time on attack, and they've gotten a lot of shots screened by Arvada, just not able to get shots, forcing the goalie to make saves, right? They're just kind of getting shots blocked before they get to the net, or they're not able to get blocks with shots through onto the net because the defense from Arvada is turning them over and bringing them back the other way before they're getting good scoring chances. So,
folks, want to send our apologies out for the web stream today. It's the Wi-Fi in the building that we're using, and obviously everybody else here on the rink is using it as well, and so that's made it a little bit of a challenge. Want to make sure we recognize our sponsors. We have Cottonwood Salon Suite, also Charleston Homes, a new one. Charleston Homes providing the best home building experience in Omaha since 2007. And as well, our thanks to Joe Chalin Tax Service. Vinny's Grandpa Joe is getting behind OHC's Junior Maverick Bantam Reds.
T-squared bodying his way through. Gets his own rebound behind the net. Puck goes loose in the corner. Courtright trying to body a man. T-squared. Picking it back up at the short wall. Bear's going to fire it in deep. Arvada working it out of the corner. Gets past the Bear. That one's going to be an icing. Stop the clock at 13:38 left in the second period now. That'll bring a face-off right back down to Arvada territory. Now, the first 22 seconds of the second period was a Mavericks charge and a shot on goal and a quarter battle in Arvada territory. I can guarantee you that Coach Bennett having some words on these boys keeping their feet moving, and that's exactly what we're seeing in the first 30 seconds of the second period. Puck comes cross off of the short wall to Patera. Patera wings one right into the glove of Arvada. That'll be the fourth shot on goal of the game for the Omaha Junior Mavericks. And we've got Patera, we've got Allers, and we've got Jack Davis out there on offense. With Nandor and Fleming on defense, another face-off in Arvada territory. Puck drop, a bouncing puck drop from the ref. What a horrible puck drop. Arvada bounces it off the boards, a loose puck back into neutral zone. Fleming fires it hard up to Jack Davis, gets the puck at red line. Gets into the zone, dump and chase. Patera's there first, working his way behind the net from the corner. Feed out to the slot, and Arvada's there to turn it over. Arvada, board pass, up past Fleming, a breakaway, and nice job by Fleming to whack it off his tape and prevent a shot on goal. Fleming's gonna get across. He's gonna gain speed to get it out of the zone, get tangled up a little bit, but keep the momentum at least going towards Arvada's end of the ice. The dump and chase. Who's the chaser? Will Allers. Will picks it up behind the net, tries to feed it in the middle. Patera in his skates for a moment, puck goes back behind again. Arvada rings it around the boards. Fleming stops it at the blue line. Dumps it in hard. Forcing the dump and chase. Allers first one to it. Back out to the middle. Paxton Schneider can't get it. A body laying on front, in front of the net. Puck comes around, back behind. Out comes Arvada, turned over in the neutral zone, and then comes back out across the blue line. Arvada now able to skate it out of their own zone. Breaking into Omaha territory, forced to the boards by Nandor. Arvada in the corner, tries to feed the middle, right through the slot, comes out to Schneider. Schneider, board pass into the neutral zone. Arvada returns the favor, dumps it right back in. Nice job by Schneider, or the boss, to ink it back out. Schneider picking it up in the red line now. Schneider can't get his way through traffic. Arvada on their own blue line. Plenty of Maverick defense back. Arvada, top of the circle, fires into the net. 11:35 left in the second, and Arvada just went up 4-1. A 3-on outnumbered. Arvada was outnumbered with 3 defensemen in front of him, and the defense just kept skating backwards and not challenging the shooter. And the player was able to just get a good shot off 5-hole on the beast. Peter, Tremaine, and Taz out there on offense. Ike and the boss on defense. Face-off win by Omaha, quickly turned over. Arvada again, shot just off the side of the net. Nice job by Ike to spoil the shot a little bit. Puck now in the corner. Heater going to work. Puck comes out to blue line. Arvada fires one wide. Long around back out to the opposite D-man. Arvada's gonna bury it in deep. Boston, nice job shoulder to shoulder. Create a turnover here in his own zone. Ike going to work now. Pushes it back to Boston in his corner. Boss out to the blue line. Can Vinny work it past? They get it out of the zone, but Arvada responds by dumping it right back in. Ike forced to get the puck out behind his own net. Dodges 2 attackers. Up to Heater. Heater, can he outskate his attacker? Top of the circle, fires well wide of the net. Comes back out to Ike. Ike can't quite play it off the boards. Poke check by Taz, but Arvada working their way through the neutral zone. Nice back check by Taz. Davis, Bear's gonna tie it up. A poke out to the middle. Can't quite get there. Arvada in control. Push to the short wall. There comes Bear, bullying his man off the puck. Taz, Tremaine up to Taz. Taz pushes it ahead. Arvada turns it over at the neutral zone. Arvada makes their way in Omaha territory. They're gonna dump and change. Bear picks it up. Gentle toss up, doesn't get out of the zone, and a blue line shot and a rebound. Bear saves it, brings it around the boards again. That one can't quite make it out of the zone. Shot, big stick save by the Beast. Bear just trying to desperately dump it out of the zone off the boards. They can't get it out of the zone. Just pitchforking it one after another. And Arvada just dumping it back in and making the Mavericks chase. Back to the blue line once again. Arvada from the blue line kicked aside before it made it to the zone. T-squared gets a lucky bounce pass defense. One-on-one, T-squared, top of the circle to the dot. Fires, big goalie save. Puck gets shot way back out to the short wall. Bear sends it in deep, court right. Behind the net, puck works its way up. Big penalty coming up as the goalie freezes that one. Elbowing's gonna be the call.
Well, Will was right there, and he tried to just tuck it in short side, hoping to find a little bit of a seam, but he got mowed down, and he's the guy who has absorbed the elbow.
He pops back up, though. He's going to be all right. So Arvada going to the sin bin for an elbowing call. 9:22 left in the second period. First penalty of the game. We'll have a goalie change for the OMA Jr Mavericks. Let's hear it for the Beast. Some awkward, lucky bounces by Arvada. Got past the Beast, and out comes Rosario Caniglia here, the backup or the alternate goaltender for the Omaha Mavs. Face-off, neutral face-off win, comes hard out the neutral zone. Keeney plays it cross ice to T-squared. T-squared breaks the zone, forced to the boards. Bear picks it up at the blue line, goes cross to Keeney. Keeney, soft touch to Courtright, nice deflection.
Oh, really?
Goalie was able to read it. Courtright read that deflection right between his legs with a great shot on goal from Keeney Courtright combo.
That was a great tip by Jake. Never know on those two, you know, they change direction and the goalie, you know, all of a sudden loses sight of it.
Stoney back to Keeney. Keeney fires for a deflection from Jack this time, and that one didn't quite get on goal. Nice try to pinch by the Bear. Keeney's going to hustle back to the puck race in his own territory. Keeney changes direction to outskate his attacker. He's still on him, but he's outskating him, gaining speed out of his own zone, getting mean mugged still there at the red line. Turnover at the attack by Arvada. Good back checking by the Omaha Mavericks, but another bobbled shot attempt by Arvada just inks its way past the Omaha Mavericks goalie, and that puts Arvada up 5-1 with 6:43 left in the second period. Out comes T-squared, Courtright, and Will Allers on offense. Back to the Boss. Boss and Ike on defense. Some back and forth in the neutral zone. Picked up by T-squared. Charges in quickly. Tapped off of his tape back to the corner. He hustles to it. Feed to the middle. Outnumbered by Arvada defense. Courtright now going to pick it up at the short wall. Can't quite get it to the middle. Bodies and feet stalling it out. That one's going to get wung all the way down and should be an ice. Yes, it is. Stops the play with 6:15 left in the second period. 5-1. Mavs are down, but inking their way back on attack here. Seeing 13-9. Still being outshot, but surely not as bad as they were getting outshot in the first period. Face off in Arvada territory. Allers, nice win. Bad communication by defense. They're forced to recollect in the neutral zone. Pushes it up to Courtright. Courtright and Allers. Courtright gets bodied off at the blue line. T-squared trying to poke its way through. T-squared can't quite get control of it. Arvada smacks their way up the short wall. T-squared comes off the wall, bouncing puck, gets batted back to the corner. Arvada fires it around the short wall. That one comes all the way out and forces Boss to recollect in his own zone. Icing's waved off. Boss luckily got one past defense. Arvada able to keep it in though. Behind Omaha's net, Ike, which forks it up to Courtright, can't quite get it to him. Puck tapped in by Arvada. Top of the circle, fires up and over onto the back of the net. Ike trying to get it back behind. Arvada in the corner going to work again. Arvada feeds the middle, nothing but Mavs there. T-squared's got skating room. 2-on-2, Courtright, T-squared fires wide of the net. Courtright gets there first. Arvada, nope, Courtright went on the change. Sorry, I got a bad angle of the bench. Nice tap by Ike to turn it over there in the neutral zone. Arvada with a long pass just out of reach. Bear will pick up in his own zone. Bear Rings it around the boards to Ike. Ike gets bodied hard, pops right back up. Out comes Patera. Patera outnumbered by defense. Oh, ink in his way. The wraparound gets saved. Another shot on goal, and that one's still not stopped. Jack Davis getting punched in the back of the head. Jack Davis trying to crash the net and push one in. The puck was still loose, so he was in the right. But
goalie was getting a little upset, but hey, make the save. Don't leave the puck laying in your crease. Yeah, this will be a penalty against Arvada, and another power play for the Junior Mavericks.
The punch in Jack Davis in the back of the head after that crash, that net crash. Jack Davis doing a hell of a good job just crashing the net after Patera. 2 good shot on goal attempts there from his wraparound and then his rebound right after. Loose puck in the legs of the Tendy, and Jack Davis just went on the attack and crashed the net. But I mean, that's what you do, is you clear the crease, and that was a little overly aggressive. Throwing punches is not how you clear the crease.
Right.
So Mavericks will get their second power play of the game, and it's going to be Jack Davis, Roman Stonebreaker, Charlie Patera on offense, Abram Keeney, and the Bear on defense. 4:41 left. We get a major penalty. We'll have a 2 and a 10. For that unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, no 2 and 10.
That player's lost. He's got somebody in there serving one part of his penalty, but he's going to be in there longer than that. It'll still be a 5-on-4, or will they? Are they saying 2 guys got involved? No, they're putting 2 minors up there.
Oh, double minor. Okay, so 5-on-3. Here we go. Stoney, Jack Davis, Charlie Patera out there. Mavericks win the face-off for a moment. Arvada pop flies, can't quite get it out of the zone. Recovery by the Bear. Yes, it did get it out of the zone. Offsides is going to stop the play. So a minute and 50. These are 2-minute penalties and not minute 30. So we're at 14-minute period lengths with 2-minute-long penalties and stop clocks. Which I wanted to say, I heard somebody say that well, we'll get to that at the penalties at the period. So Keeney wins the faceoff draw, dumps it in, comes back out around to Keeney, fires at the net, big goalie save, goes back to the corner. Jack Davis can't get there. Keeney can't quite stop it at the blue line. Arvada now coming in and dumping it on net. Rosie makes the save, gives it up to the Bear. Bear, he's got room to skate it out of his own zone. He's got room to skate it into the territory. Fires it off of a player, goes back behind. Patera gets to the corner first. Inks it off the wall. Stick handles past one. Still working his way behind the net. Feed to the middle. Stonebreaker back to Bear. Bear from the blue line back to Stoney. Over to Patera. Patera top of the circle. Fires. Big save. Jack Davis gets tied up. He's still going to win it around the boards. Bear steps up now on the short wall. Can't quite. Yes, he does. Get loose from the dot. Fire deflected back into the corner. Patera gets there first. 44 seconds left in the 2 penalties. Puck comes batted out of the neutral zone. Keeney picks it up, resets in the neutral zone. It's tapped off of his tape. Now he's getting bodied at his bench. Puck gets dumped in, handled out of the air by the Bear. Bear tries to pitchfork it into the zone. It's batted back towards him. Sturba now gains territory. Nice centering feed just behind Schneider, though. Schneider gets tangled up at the short wall. Schneider and Sturba getting tied up along the short wall here. Schneider comes off the wall, feeds over to Fleming. Fleming fires just wide of the net. Puck behind. Arvada to it. Feeding it around the boards. Fleming can't quite keep it in. Circles to avoid an attacker. Keeps it on sides. And then the puck comes loose all the way down to Maverick territory. That's going to expire the 5-on-3 penalty.
Good penalty kill for Arvada. Down 2 men for full 2 minutes. They did a
Not a lot of shots on goal, but notice the good positive here. The shots on goal are 14-12 now. Mavs are still down, but only by 2.
Be nice to knock one in here before we get to the break again. Just to see if we can get a little bit closer.
Arvada works their way out of the zone, dump and chase. Allers can't quite get there first. Arvada behind the net. Nice poke check by Will. Fleming chasing the puck around the short wall. Heater giving him a hand. Fleming and Heater now going to work around the short wall. Heater pops out with it. Heater gaining speed through neutral zone. He's got a man. Puck dropped at the blue line. Allers picks it up. Can't get his way through traffic. Heater with a nice shot. Here comes Fleming. Picks it up top of the circle. Shot off the shoulder and up into the netting. Will stop the clock at a 1:47 left in the second period. 5-1. Arvada still winning this game.
Good job by the Junior Mavericks at that time to get some speed coming out of their own zone. Vinny able to lug it up ice, and when he got poke checked, Will was able to keep it alive. That was a big play.
Arvada with a big face-off win, gaining speed quickly into Maverick territory. Nandor goes on to the attack into the corner. Nice poke check by Nandor, but couldn't quite get past the second attacker. Arvada keeps it in the zone. Comes Taz. Taz in the corner gets poke checked by Arvada. Arvada working their way behind the net. Nobody's attacking him. 5-on-5 hockey. We're playing like we're short-handed. Arvada shoots from the boards, trickling puck through the slot. A Heater skates it out of the zone. Quickly turned over by Arvada. Nice job by Heater to keep the puck tied up at the neutral zone. Arvada dumps it back in and right out of the rink. That one's going to be a center ice face-off now. Mavs playing like they're short-handed here, not attacking players with the puck when we're 5-on-5 hockey. 1 minute left in the period. 5-1, Mavs are down. Neutral zone face-off as Courtright, Stonebreaker, T-Square come out on offense. Ike and the boss on defense. Arvada inks one into Mavs territory right off the face-off win. They're ringing around the boards. Ike pokes it ahead in the corner. It's it up to T-Squared, but Blue Line keeps it in, fires one off the side of the net. Ike bouncing one off the boards again. T-Squared can't get it around the defense. Comes out to Ike. Ike goes back behind the net this time. Courtright's going to try and poke it. Can't. Arvada dumps it back in deep. Ike going to work behind his goal line. Trying to get one up to T-Squared, a one-on-one. T-Squared stick handling pass, lots of back checkers, fires, and a big save by the Arvada goaltender. Freezes that puck. 22 seconds left in the first period. Mavericks inking their way towards tying the shots on goal here. Now 14-13, still down by one shot, but down dramatically on goals. 5-1, losing this game. Face-off comes whizzing back out to neutral zone territory. Arvada poke checks it off of the boss's tape, forces Ike by Courtright, but the puck goes back in deep again. The buzzer will sound and end the second period. 5-1, Mavericks down on this opening Thanksgiving game here at the Silver Sticks tournament in where are we at? Arvada,
Colorado, yep.
So boys are definitely a second and third period team. We're starting to see the shots on goal be a lot more even. Mavericks are keeping their cool. I'd say Arvada's had two big penalties that have hurt their chances of putting more goals in the net, but nonetheless, they're winning the game 5-1. Mavericks did change their goalie, but since then, Arvada's gotten a goal past Rosie as well. So it's not all in the goaltending this game. It's a lot to do with just moving your feet.
This looks like an adjustment game for the Junior Mavericks. Playing here in altitude, their first game of the tournament. They just look a little bit out of sorts. The passes haven't quite been as crisp, and as you said, the feet aren't moving as quickly as they need to against a team like this Arvada club that clearly they're used to the conditions, obviously. They live here, but they're also very good at moving their feet, supporting the puck carrier, and being able to put the pressure on the Junior Mavericks and force the turnovers that have led to some goals.
4-goal deficit. So the mercy rule in this tournament is 4-goal deficit. We'll have a running clock for the rest of this game in the third period. 5-1 is the score. Mavs are down. Face-off coming in Arvada territory. Sturba, Allers, Paxton Schneider. Fleming can't quite get the first shot off. Allers fed it back to him nicely. Pop fly back to the net. A crease battle. That one got batted away to the corner. Nice hit by Allers. Puck comes whizzing back out to the neutral zone. Fleming's got an attacker. Loses control of it. Batted towards Rosie. Rosie sticks it away. Fleming resets. Tries to pop it up and out, and he does. Centering pass. Allers can't quite handle. Arvada pushes it back to Nandor. Nandor trucks it up past the blue line, or red line, and then the dump and chase is on. Schneider and Sturba on the forecheck. Arvada rings it around the boards to try and get it out of their zone. Nice job by Nandor to keep it in. Allers stick handles it back deep in Arvada territory. Arvada will try and ring it out of the zone. Nandor will return the favor. Arvada's going to try it again. This one gets past Nandy. Comes loose back out into Maverick territory. Fleming is going to let it cross the line. No Weissing. Fleming fakes the change of direction. Nandor picks up the loose puck. Board pass up to Taz. Pass him. That one's likely going to be an ice on the Omaha Mavericks, and we'll come back down to Mav territory. Running clock reminder for the 4-goal deficit right now in the third period. So I'm going to call it 11:15 left in the game. 5-1, Arvada in the lead. Stoney, Heater, and Taz out there on offense. We've got Ike and
Nice block by Boston.
and Boss on defense. A shot goes winging high up into the rafters, landed in the corner, gets rung around. Boss now goes behind. Ike pokes it back to the middle. That one got poked out loose into Arvada territory. Stalls out right in front of the net. Arvada picks it up. Nice forecheck by Heater. Change in direction. Taz now with it behind. Little shake and bake off the back of the net. Feed to the front. Loose back out to the blue line. Ike taps it in off the short wall. Arvada's there. Picks up the loose puck in their own circle. Arvada, board pass up to the neutral zone. Mishandled. Boss trying to create the turnover. Arvada is going to start inking their way back into Mavs territory. The dump and chase. And Boss gets there first behind his own. Feeds it around to Ike. Ike from his own corner rings it back around to the Boss. Boss up to Jack Davis, Heater. Heater, board pass up to T-Squared. T-Squared's got one, now two to beat. Now the same guy, now here comes some help. Finally Stonebreaker, but the puck goes back behind. Heater in his skates, up to the corner. Arvada feeds it out of the corner. Pop flies, centering pass into the feet of his teammate. Arvada gains territory. From the top of the circle, fires just wide of the net. Stonebreaker couldn't quite get his glove on it. Nice body by the Boss. T-Square picks it up on the short wall, is able to get it out of the zone, and it's just batted ahead. Arvada fires it back in deep to Maverick territory. 9:20 left in the game. Ike behind his own net. Board pass out of the zone past T-Squared. Arvada fires it back in off the side of the net. The Boss picks up behind his own net. Fires up to Courtright. Courtright can't quite handle the rifling pass. Comes bouncing back out to Wyatt. Wyatt up to T-Squared. T-Squared gets bodied at the red line. Puck trickles into Arvada's territory. Quickly bounced out into the neutral zone. A board battle. Arvada working its way ahead. Centering pass. Stirred up the shot on goal. Just enough for Rosie to dive on it. And 5-1, Mavericks are down. Fresh legs are Patera, Jack Davis, and Allers on the ice. The Bear and Keeney out on defense. Arvada with a face-off win. A gentle shot back to the Bear. Bear up to Jack Davis. Jack Davis working his way 2-on-2. Off the boards, around one attacker, to the circle, fires it just wide of the net. Patera will go to work in the corner. Arvada comes out of the corner with it. Pop fly to the center. Allers turns it over. Patera gets the loose puck in the slot. Shake and bake, can't quite get the shot off. Puck loose in the corner, gets bodied off. Arvada now working their way out of their own zone. Outnumbered by Maverick defense. From the circle, tries to pitchfork it towards the zone. They're still getting forced to the board. A centering pass. Keeney up to Jack Davis. Jack Davis skating his way through the neutral zone. Past the red line, whiffs on the shot. Offsides. Oh, we got an injured player down. Out of sight. What's happening? Is there an injured player? Yes, there is. We got an Arvada player down in the corner. Just made it to his feet. Out of sight here. Not sure what happened. He made his way to his own feet, though, and he made his own way to the bench. I didn't see what happened.
No, I didn't either.
So play stopped at 7:30 left in the game. 5-1. Mavericks are down here in the first game. Faceoff will come back to Arvada territory, so I'm not sure what happened down there.
Their injury,
Okay.
therefore it comes down to their
They
end.
forced the play stoppage. So Stoney's out there on this face-off drop with Paxton Schneider, Braden Sturba on offense. Fleming, Nandor on defense. Puck rung around the boards. Mavs do a good job of keeping it in. Sturba trying to forecheck behind. Arvada rings it around to the short wall. Arvada pitchforks it out of the zone. A one-on-one. Fleming trying to protect. Shot goes loose on Rosie. Fleming picks up the rebound. Can't get past the second defender. Arvada got the puck behind. Rung one off the back of the net. Stalled out for a moment. Tried the wraparound. Then feed to the middle. Nobody's there. Arvada rings one towards the net. And that one got deflected and fired right past Rosie. 6-1 now. Arvada increases their lead on the running clock. I'm going to call it 6:40 left in the game.
A little tip in front. Not much Rosie could have done about that one. Big crowd there. He couldn't really see it all that well. And
Yeah,
just tip between the legs.
too many attackers there in the slot for Arvada, and we weren't quite guarding those bodies. So Arvada puts another one in. 6:15 left in the game. Arvada wins the face-off, dumps it into Mavs territory. Ike wins the puck race back into his own zone. Ike's got an attacker. Puck's going to stall out on the short wall, come out of the zone. Neutral zone, regrouped by Arvada. Arvada gets their centering pass kicked away for a moment by Vinny Heater. Turned over by Tremaine. Tremaine's going to dump it. Back in behind the net. Heater tries to backhand it towards the net on that puck race, and that one gets pushed to the corner. Pop fly out of the zone by Arvada. Outnumbered by Maverick defense. Work their way, dump it in deep. The boss forced to chase. He can't get there first. Arvada in the board battle. That one gets inked out of the zone. Taz picks it up right outside the blue line. Outnumbered by attackers. He's going to do a dump and chase. Heater's the forechecker. Arvada gets around behind their own net. Ike keeps it in. Ike bats it in deep again. Ike's going to chase his own dump. Arvada clears it back out. Allers now picks it up in the neutral zone. 5 minutes left in the game. Soft tap back to Heater. Heater, cross ice to T-squared, out of reach. T-squared going to get on the attack in the corner. Arvada rings it around the boards. Nice hit by T-squared. Courtright creates a turnover. Can't quite keep his stick on it, though. Ike lobs it back towards the net. A kick save goes behind. Courtright now on the attack behind. Can't quite get the poke check. Comes back out to Boss. Boss keeps it in the zone, dumps it back in deep. Arvada picks it up in their own corner. Rings it cross ice. Nice job by Boss, but we've got a big breakaway shot. Goes wide. Comes back to the opposite short wall. Boss forced to pick it up behind his own net. Lost control momentarily. Allers has a skating lane. Pushes it cross ice, out of reach of T-squared. Arvada pokes it ahead. Allers intercepts the pass. Can't quite work his way up the boards. Boss is going to wing one all the way down, and that one's going to be an icing. Clock is going to run. I'm going to call it 4 minutes left in the game. 6-1. Mavericks are down here on this Thanksgiving Day Silver Sticks tournament opener. Stonebreaker, Jack Davis, Charlie Patera out there on offense. Like Abram Keeney and the Bear on defense. Face off in Mav territory. Puck drop, inks its way back towards the Mavericks. Batted ahead. Bounced over to Jack Davis on the short wall. Arvada shot on goal. Big save by Rosie. Blind dump around the boards by the Bear. Patera can't get there first. Ties it up along the short wall though. Gets a little help from Stoney. Stoney passes it over to Bear. Bear turns and wings one around the short wall. Patera, can he get it past the defense? No. Puck kept into the zone by Arvada. Then finally dumped out, and we got an offsides. No stoppage on the clock since we've got a More than 4-goal deficit here, 6-1. Mavericks.
About 3 minutes to go.
3 minutes left in the game. We'll get a neutral zone face-off. Stoney, Patera, Jack Davis on the draw. Arvada wins the face-off through feet. Top of the circle, fires wide of the net, rebound. Couldn't quite get a good shot off. Puck goes back behind. Stoney, nice shoulder, but Arvada still with it. Finally a poke check, gets it out to Jack Davis. Jack gets it nudged past the red line, but Arvada picks the loose puck up in deep back in their own territory. Now 2:30 left in the game. Nice step up by the Bear, fires into some bodies. Puck comes loose out of the top of the circle. Arvada, centering pass. Arvada 1-on-3, outnumbered by defense. Top of the circle, push to the wall, drop pass, shot on goal, goes wide. Keeney hurries to it, boards it up to Patera. Patera gets bodied. Puck comes not quite out of the zone. A bobbled shot doesn't quite get on net. Keeney picks up the loose puck from behind. Jack Davis able to get it through feet. That one's going to just go wild down for an icing. Mavericks just doing a stop the bleed here. 1:50 left in the game, 6-1. Mavericks are down. They're just trying to end the game here at this point, and out of gas from being outscored and outskated, or outpassed, really. Good puck movement by this Arvada team. So Sturba, Tremaine, Paxton Schneider out there on offense. Fleming and Nandor on defense. Fleming creates a turnover. Arvada shot from the blue line well wide. Schneider hustles to it, pushes it up, Nandor hustles to it, tries to push it up to Schneider. Oh, stepped on it, got a break there, and it came out of the zone. 1 minute left in the game. Arvada start charging back into Maverick territory. They dump and chase. Fleming the first one to it. Not too quickly. Arvada pulls it off the wall. Paxton can't quite get it. Turnover by Arvada. Shot. Nandor's body blocks it. He picks it up off the short wall, goes cross ice to Sturb. Sturb backhands it back to Tremaine. Tremaine kicks it ahead. Arvada dumps it back into neutral zone. The dump and chase. In comes Fleming. Fleming in the corner. Wins the puck race to the other corner. Circling around the short wall. Loses control. Puck out of the zone. Tremaine trying to tap it and lose momentum. Shot on back deep into Maverick territory. Taz going to work on the short wall. 20 seconds left in the game. Puck comes out to center to Heater. Heater gets it tapped off of his tape, but he moves it into offensive territory. Stalls out around the boards. Short wall, Allers outnumbered by 3 defensemen. Pushes it towards the net. Wraparound attempt, push back behind as the last 5 seconds just trickle off of this clock. That one's going to end game 1 in a loss for the Omaha Junior Mavericks for this opener on Thanksgiving Day in the Silver Sticks tournament. 6-1, Mavericks fall. A little taste of what they're going to be dealing with here in this tournament. So the good thing is they crept back up on shots on goal and started matching some of the pressure, but they got outmatched on the passing game and time of control, time of possession by the Arvada team. We really weren't tremendously out-skated or outmatched or out-hit by this team. What they did was they just controlled the puck and passed the puck nicely to keep control of the game the entire time.
Talking to Coach Steve Maresh before this game, his scouting report was right on. He said they pass very well, they're very well coached, they're well disciplined, they don't hit a lot. We saw all of that, and their guys put a lot of pressure on our guys today. Tough start against a team that plays as well as Arvada does. Tough starting game for our guys in this tournament. But, I think notice has been served that they're going to have to bring a lot more